Hello folks, how are you all doing? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, my goodness. Day 4 again of oil pastels, which is very, very exciting. Let me just get you guys up on my screen so I can see. There we go. Hopefully that will be good. How are you all? What have you all been up to? I've been reading a lot of kind of sad stuff this morning about theatres and shows and how much the theatres and just kind of the arts in general kind of bring us, but actually how kind of little they're able to do at the moment. They're just kind of a bit left. And hello Lynn, and Lynn knows that like last night we were at a script writing meeting for Panto. So our Tunbridge Community Panto doesn't start until December. It's not until the middle of December. But we start rehearsals in September and auditions are in July or the end of July. So it's a little bit odd to kind of think about what we're going to be allowed to do and what we're not going to be allowed to do. And if we are allowed to do it, is it going to be viable anymore? And yeah, so I've been reading lots of sad stuff this morning, which is a bit of a shame. But I am about to brighten up the day. I am about to brighten things up. So you may have noticed my fabulous feather-ish earrings on today. It's just such beautiful, bright colours. Love these colours. So we're going to do a parrot today with our oil pastels. So it really is going to be livening up our page with all those beautiful, beautiful colours that we're going to be using. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, next week I've kind of counted all the votes up and what people have said and what they want to do and what they don't. And next week we're going to be drawing. It won by one vote. So it wasn't much in it. But yeah, next week we're going to be drawing. So kind of get your pencils and things ready for next week. It'll be good fun. But we'll carry on with the oil pastels today. Thanks, Lynn. She loves my earrings. Thank you very much. They are cool. They're very, very delicate, slightly squished, but I love the colours. And it's these kind of colours that we're going to be using in our parrots. So we're going to go for very kind of blues and greens and yellows. But then our background is going to be very much those kind of reds, oranges. And we're just going to make it look really nice and bright, basically. Hi, Sue. Sapphire, you're here! You're here live. Hi, Mum. Excellent stuff. So we are going to be doing parrots today. So the first thing that I want to do is kind of outline it a little bit, just so that we kind of get the proportions right. We know roughly where stuff's going to be going. So I'm just going to use a very light blue, just so that it doesn't show up particularly, although you can go over it with oil pastels. That's the beauty of oil pastels, is it can really go over the top of stuff and cover your mistakes over, which I always like about them. But I'll just do a very, very light line. Just saying that, I might actually go for a darker blue just so that you guys can actually see what I'm drawing. But if you're outlining, please do use a really nice light colour. So I'm going to drop you guys down so you can start seeing what I'm up to. There you go. So hopefully you guys can see that. I have opened the curtains, so there is a little bit of light on here, so hopefully you should be able to see. So with our parrot, we're going to get a nice, oh, actually I'm going to move further over here. Nice big curve coming up. And we're just going to stop there. So it's literally just curving up there. So this is its back, and then coming into the top of its head here. This is only a guideline, so do not worry if you get this kind of slightly wrong. And then we're going to go from down here somewhere, and this is kind of the other wing here. If you imagine this being the other wing, and they're all going to disappear off in that direction together. So maybe this needs to come out a bit like this. So his tail's going to kind of disappear off. So hopefully you guys can see that. Fiona, you made it, and the girls, excellent. So for those that are just joining us, I will hold this up. So this is just a rough outline that we're doing. We're doing parrots today. for those who have joined. So I think a couple of people have joined late. So you can see that we've got this is just a very rough guideline, so just use a light blue. But you can see that you've got a nice big curve over here where its head's just coming down, and then its back and its other wing are coming around here. And then this is its wing that you can see the most, that's coming down here. And then we've got its tails just disappearing off into the distance. So just for those who are just joining us. All right. So I'm going to tip you guys down so you can carry on. So the next thing we need to do is just mark out, and I need a brown for this, really, light brown, is to just mark out here a kind of branch that he's going to be sitting on, basically. Okay. I'm going to go the other end as well. There we go. So you can see that you've got that branch going all the way through behind him. Okay, so the first thing first, we're going to start with our lightest bits. So that's the yellow. So the yellow of our parrot is very much around his, and I'm going to go for a nice bright yellow for this one. It's very much around his kind of neck and his eye, really. So I'm going to kind of bring in some yellow here. Oh, it's got a little bit of orange on there as well. There we go. So I'm just going literally to the edge of that, not too far, and bring in some yellow there. And then the next thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to go from our lightest bit, oh, and I might put in a little bit here for his, we can imagine there's a claw there. So hopefully you guys can see that. I've literally just popped tiny bit there for his little claw holding on to the branch. So I'm going to go from our lightest colour now to our darkest colour. So I'm now going to go to a black, and I'm going to put in the beak. So now we know where that yellow is. It makes it a lot easier to be able to put in our beak. Now parrot's beaks curve round quite far. Now if you notice, you can see that I've just left a gap in between the beak, so that you can see the top bit of the beak and the bottom bit of the beak. I'm just filling it in so it's a nice block colour there. So hopefully you guys can see that little gap. Don't worry too much if you haven't got one, or if you don't think the gap's big enough, because you can always go over with white oil pastel. And in fact, we're going to add some white oil pastel as we go along to lighten bits up anyway, so don't worry. Hi Jasper. Oh, no worries, Sapphire. Join when you can. Join when you can. So then the eye is going to be quite close, closer than you probably think it is, to our beak. And again, we're going to leave a little bit of a white circle within the black for the light shining off of it. But again, if you find it too difficult, you can always add in some white on top. Okay. So hopefully you guys have got those. So it's actually quite close, isn't it? That eye, it's closer than you think it is. Okay, so then we're going to carry on with the colours. So I might, now that I know where the eye is, I might just bring that yellow round a little bit more, just at the top there. And I'm going to go over the other bits as well, just to really block it in with colour. And then I'm going to start with a blue first. So I'm going to go back to my kind of nice, what is it, kind of a cobalt blue there, and I'm just going to bring that alongside that yellow and down into, so I'm going to pretend that there's a wing here, feathers of a wing here. You can bring the bottom of there. Now you can really play around with kind of the colours. Obviously I'm using blues and greens, but if you don't want to use blues and greens, you could use slightly different ones. Get some pink going in there. Get some nice colours actually. There we go. And then we want some blue over the top of that wing as well, or whichever first base colour you're using. There we go. And then I want another kind of line of blue to the bottom here, to his tail. Really kind of dig in with it and really kind of block out the colour there. There we go. So it looks very rough at the moment. The reason for that is that we've left some room for some nice green. So I'm just gonna peel off my green. I've lost my green. So I'm just gonna peel off a little bit of paper there. Get to the next bit of green. And this is where we start adding in our other colour. So it doesn't have to be green, like I said. If you want to kind of choose a completely different colour, go for pinks or something, you are more than welcome. So I'm just going to fill in these gaps with a little bit of green. I'm going for a really nice bright green. Like I said, I want it to be big and bright. And he's got a nice big green forehead coming in there. That's a good colour. There we go. So you're just kind of filling in those gaps now, really. So you just got to make sure that you don't have too big a bit of green. Put some over that yellow there. So you can see this wing has got a really big green splodge in the middle. I am going to probably add some blue into that on the top, just to kind of break it up a bit so that you don't have that mass going on there. And then I will just bring in some green alongside his tail feathers as well. I'm going to go right into the corner. So his tail feathers really are coming off the page. There we go. So I'm going to add in some blue back into that green, particularly around, oh, got some on my finger. There we go. Particularly around his kind of wing. And I'm only just literally just breaking it up with lengths of blue on top. So you can see you then don't get that big block. And then you can add some white into that as well. So if you think actually it's looking too flat, it's, you know, I'm not quite sure of it, you can add some white. And much like we did with the goldfish, we added in just little bits of black to the goldfish just to highlight it. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing with our friend here. So I'm going to bring in quite a lot of white around his eye as well, around there. I think he needs quite a lot of white around there. Ooh, a bit of green blending in. Yes, so I'm definitely going to be doing some outlines on here as well. So hopefully you guys can follow me with that. And I'm just literally just using the white to highlight kind of where our feathers would go, the direction that our feathers would go in. So let me hold that up so you guys can see a little bit clearer where I've added in all that white. Particularly around the eye, you can see. And actually adding in the white has helped blend those colours as well. So hopefully you guys can see that. And then again with the black, just very, very gently. Don't want to outline the whole thing. We just want to pick out certain highlights, or almost the shadows actually is what we're picking out with the black. So I'm just going to come in at the top left of the wing. Maybe a little bit on the head. Don't really want to go too far on that line there. We'll put a little bit of shadow in here where that other wing is. And we've got some nice feathers coming down here. You literally are just highlighting the top bits and then getting the shadows in with the black. So I'm just following some of those lines that I made earlier, particularly with the white as well. You can get a nice contrast in there. There we go, so hopefully you guys can see that. So I haven't outlined the whole thing, I haven't outlined all of it, but it really just adds a bit of depth by adding in some kind of some shadows really into our little friend here. And I am, just go over that bit, I am just going to outline his little claw and put a little bit of shadow on the branch where he's gripping it. And then I'm going to go into the branch with some more brown. Different shade of brown this time. And then again, I'll probably outline this by highlighting and adding in. So you can see that I've done the darker brown at the bottom, and then I'm going to go with the lighter brown at the top of it. So you've got the light shining on the top of that branch. And then I will probably put some black on the underneath as well. Just to really emphasize that shadow. Yeah, so hopefully you guys can see that. Let's hold that up so you can see. So you've got the black underneath, the dark brown, and then the light brown that's really highlighting it at the top. Hi Cheryl, thank you, my cute parrot. Okay, so for the backgrounds, you can really kind of go mad with sort of oranges, pinks, reds, maybe not so much yellow, like a bright yellow, like this one's more of a lemony yellow, but like a kind of warmer yellow, and just literally just do patches of the colour, blending into each other. And just be careful of your outlines of our parrot there. Go for a slightly darker orange over here. There we go. And then this is where you would use your tissue. So after you've kind of patchworked almost the background. So I'm going for nice kind of oranges. But obviously you can flip these. You know, your parrot could be that kind of the orange colour, the yellowy colour, and some reds and things in there. And then your background could be blues and greens. But the reason we use these kind of opposite colours, because they are really complementary colours. They are the colours that are the opposite on the colour wheel to your yellows and, sorry, your yellows, your blues and your greens. So that's the reason why we're using these colours, because they will just make it really pop out. I think I'm going to use some slightly pinker on there. So they'll really make your parrot pop out with the blues and the greens. So try and use kind of opposite colours, or what we call complementary colours, for that. It's slightly softer on this side. There we go. So just keep going, keep filling in your background. Just be careful when you get close to your outline of your parrot. Oh, that's a nice colour, that pink, actually. I didn't think I'd like that, but I do. And then just grab yourself a piece of tissue and blend away with your background. Again, being really careful that you're not touching the parrot in the middle. So, you know, when I kind of twist the kitchen towel or the paper or whatever it is that you're using, if you really twist it, then you can get actually a really nice point to be able to work with. Use some of my darker pink here, which I rather love. Here we go. So you can really have a play with these kind of patchwork backgrounds. So I'm going to bring in some of the pink over the other side and go back to my orange that I was using there, so that we get that nice continuity. Here we go. So there we go. I am going to smudge that background now, and then I will take a photograph to show you guys. I'm just going to tap all the bits off. There we go. We're a finished parrot. Nice and popping in colour. It will look quite different as well once you've blended all this background, but don't blend the bird, so that again it really helps it stand out. If you don't feel like it's standing out enough and you feel like you want it to pop a little bit more, just go a little bit heavier on the black. Again, not all the way around, but just in certain bits. Cheryl, you've asked a question there, I can't see it. When I blend the tissue, when I blend with the tissue, sometimes it doesn't blend but takes the colour off. Am I blending too hard? Probably both of those. So yes, you might well be blending a little bit too roughly, so you can do it a bit softer. Try and do it just in one direction. That can help that as well. Or am I not putting enough colour on? You actually do put a surprising amount of oil pastel on, and because it's so soft, because of the oils in it, it will come off quite easily. So with the parrot, for example, with the green, I know I was going really, really heavy with that and really putting it on. Same with the blue as well, actually. So yeah, so make sure you put enough on as well. And if you feel like it's taking too much off, you can always put more back on and then just blend it softer afterwards. So there's always, that's what I quite like about oil pastels, there's always quite an easy fix. Bit like acrylic painting, really. It's there's an easy fix to mistakes, which is good. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Good luck. Don't forget to take photographs of your parrots. I'd love to see all these beautiful bright parrots on our post today. I'll finish blending that one and I'll take a picture and put it on. Tomorrow you'll need paper, oil pastels and tissue or tissue paper just to help blend. White paper is fine for tomorrow. See you guys at 2 o'clock. Have a very good rest of your day. Enjoy the weather. Try not to overheat too much. Make sure you eat plenty of ice cream. See you tomorrow at 2. Bye.